Hi, my name is Ashton, and this is my springboard assignment on racialization in sports. So, the reason I chose this concept is because I've seen multiple incidents where an athlete is visible minority has been targeted with racial slurs, stereotypes, causing them to fill with self-doubt and begin to build a hatred for the sport that they love. The sociological purpose of sports is to bring people together despite their ethnic backgrounds, social status, and economic class. Racism present in the sports community, it puts restrictions on players based on their skin color instead of their athletic abilities. Here's a Stats Canada chart that shows the motivations for discrimination in sports from 2018 to 2023. As we can see, the two highest motives are race and ethnicity. Racialization. It's the base in which racism, and according to the elements of sociological textbook, it's the right racialization is a process in which individual humans are viewed as necessarily belonging to a group or even vaguely lookalikes who are assumed to be essentially inferior in terms of their intellect, mortality, values, and innate worth because of those perceived similarities in physical appearance, language, dialect, or cultural heritage. So, what does racialization look like in sports? In football, it is commonly stereotyped that quarterbacks positions should be played by a white person. Here's a photo of the top two quarterbacks in the NFL going into the start of the 2025 season. A record-breaking 50% of all quarterbacks this season were African American. Stereotype true. Sports are no longer categorized by black and white. Here are four examples of athletes that broke the restrictions that essentialism and the racialized stereotype set for them. Stereotype of basketball being a black sport is false. 17 of the top 100 players in the NBA are not African American, including these two athletes who are ranked 1 and 3. Another stereotype is running back position is meant to be played by a black athlete. Here's a photo of Christian McCaffrey, who is the 2023 Offensive Player of the NFL and is the top running back in the league. Hockey being a white sport. PK Subban, who is a role model and advocate for equality on and off the ice, is a black athlete who received backlash constantly from fans and media for playing a white sport. Regardless, he didn't let the restrictions stop him from having a 13-year-long career as a top defenseman in the NHL. From a symbolic interactionism perspective, this social issue would be analyzed as removing individuals from certain structures within society and leading them to have a weak integration with those social groups, posing a threat to the social structure of sports and the mental well-being of these athletes. Also relate the labeling theory, as this topic relates to labeling theory, as athletes who are told that they can be and can't be certain things are more likely to stick within those restrictions. So where do we go from here? It's safe to say that society has recently been racializing athletes less, and this is thanks to role model players such as PK Subban and Patrick Mahomes, and their success breaking stereotypes by proving to the next generation that anyone can play any position within any sport that they want. No matter what your race or ethnicity, along with this, it's important that we continue to use our sociological imagination to acknowledge that racialization is a societal problem and not an individual issue. Are my references. And then my three questions for you guys are, as a society, what steps are necessary in reducing racism and racialization within our community? Question two, outside of sports, in everyday life, what are some ways people are racialized or stereotyped? Question three, can you recall any time, whether personal, friends, general news, that an individual has persevered through racialization? If so, what might have helped them in their process?